I pretended not to know my boss's secret language for months until the perfect moment. I never planned to use my linguistics degree at the retail job I took to pay bills between graduation and real life. But when I discovered my micromanaging boss spoke fluent Portuguese to her assistant manager about employees right in front of us, I couldn't resist playing the long game. Here's the thing, I grew up in a Brazilian household. Portuguese was my first language, but my very American name and lack of accent meant no one at work suspected this. My boss, Vanessa, would stand 5 feet away from employees and openly criticize them in Portuguese to her assistant, Marcos. Look at how slowly she's stocking those shelves, or tell him his register count was off again yesterday. They'd laugh, then switch to English to give watered-down feedback. At first I was just shocked at the unprofessionalism. Then I realized I had an accidental superpower. For 3 months, I said nothing, just absorbed every criticism and gossip session. While appearing blissfully ignorant, I learned who was getting promoted, who was getting fired, and exactly what Vanessa thought about everyone. She called me competent but too quiet and wondered if I was smart enough for the assistant manager position opening up. I worked harder than ever, all while understanding exactly what she actually wanted, not what she told us in English. My performance reviews were stellar because I was addressing concerns she'd only voiced in Portuguese. Then came inventory day, our district manager was visiting, and Vanessa was stressed. When we were short-staffed at registers, I jumped in to help. A customer had a complicated return that required manager approval, but both Vanessa and Marcos were in the back with the DM. I paged for manager assistance twice with no response. The customer was getting impatient. Finally, Vanessa stormed up to the front, clearly annoyed at being pulled away from the district manager. Before I could explain, she turned to Marcos, who had followed her, and said in rapid Portuguese, "I can't believe this idiot called me up for a simple return. I've shown her how to do this 100 times. This is why she'll never get promoted." The customer looked confused by the foreign language. I smiled politely, then responded in perfect Portuguese, "Actually, it's a return without a receipt that exceeds the $100 limit. Only you or Marcos can authorize it. I've known how to process regular returns since my first week. Also, I'd still like to be considered for that assistant manager position you mentioned last week." The color drained from her face. Marcos started laughing so hard he had to walk away. The customer, though confused, seemed to enjoy the said intention. Vanessa switched to English, stammering, You speak Portuguese fluently since birth?" I replied, still smiling. "Now about this return." The district manager, who had apparently followed them to the front, stepped forward. "I'm curious about this conversation," he said. 2 weeks later, I was offered the assistant manager position. Vanessa suddenly needed to transfer to a store closer to home. My first act as assistant manager was implementing a no gossip in any language policy. The best part, our district manager now randomly asks employees to translate things into different languages during visits, just to keep everyone honest. He calls it the Portuguese test. Sometimes the best revenge isn't a dramatic confrontation, but simply waiting for the perfect moment to reveal you've understood everything all along.